Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine the one thing you've ever truly wanted in your life, the thing that keeps you awake at night, that gnaws at your soul, that whispers you can't. Now, open your eyes, because I am here to tell you this. You can, and not someday, not maybe, but right now, no matter the obstacles, no matter the critics, no matter the pain you've endured, I am going to win. And the reason I know this is simple: winning isn't about luck. It's not about timing, and it's certainly not about comfort. Winning is a decision, a burning, unshakable decision that says, I will not quit, I will not settle, I will rise, and I will conquer, no matter what. Tonight, I'm going to show you how to ignite that fire inside you, how to transform every setback into fuel, every doubt into strength, and every moment of fear into unbreakable courage. By the end of this speech, you will not just believe in your victory, you will know it is inevitable. Winning starts the moment you make a decision so powerful that nothing can shake it. I'm not talking about a wish or a hope. I'm not talking about crossing your fingers and hoping things work out. I'm talking about a decision so deep, so unshakable that your mind, your body, and your soul align behind it. Most people wander through life waiting for the right moment, waiting for the perfect conditions, waiting for the stars to align. They say things like, I'll try when I feel ready, or I'll start when the timing is right. Let me tell you something: timing is an illusion and readiness is a trap. Life will never hand you a perfect opportunity, and the longer you wait for it, the further your dreams drift away. Winning begins when you decide, and I mean truly decide, that quitting is not an option. When you make that decision, the universe starts working with you in ways you can't even imagine. Doors that were closed begin to creak open. People you never expected to meet show up. Ideas that seemed impossible suddenly appear. That's not luck. That's the power of a committed mind. And here's the thing: it doesn't matter how many times you failed before. It doesn't matter how many people have told you it's impossible. When your decision is firm, your failures no longer define you. They fuel you. Every setback becomes a stepping stone, every rejection a redirection, and every moment of doubt a test of your commitment. Think about what it means to be fully committed. It means that even when the pain comes, and you don't back down. Even when fear whispers in your ear, you say, I'm going anyway. Even when the world seems to push against you, you push back harder. That's what separates the winners from the dreamers. Winners don't wait for certainty. Winners don't wait for permission. Winners decide, and then they move with relentless action. Now, I know that making a decision like this feels scary. I know it feels like standing at the edge of a cliff with nothing beneath your feet. But let me tell you the truth: the moment you decide, the moment you commit fully, you begin to fly. Your mind stops asking, what if, and starts asking, how? How can I make this happen? How can I turn this obstacle into an opportunity? How can I become the person who doesn't quit no matter what? And that shift in thinking is where everything changes, because the decision itself is more powerful than any strategy, any tool, any resource you could ever find. You see, most people underestimate the power of a decision. They think it's just a thought, just a fleeting promise to themselves. But a real decision is an internal declaration that resonates through every action, every choice, and every moment of life. It's a fire inside you that refuses to be extinguished. And once that fire is lit, you begin to see opportunities everywhere. You begin to recognize solutions where others see only problems. You begin to act with a clarity and focus that the average person can't even comprehend. And here's the thing: making a decision like this doesn't mean the road will be easy. In fact, the road will be harder than you imagined. You will face setbacks, failures, and moments when giving up feels easier than moving forward. But that's exactly when your decision shows its power. Because when you've decided to win no matter what, quitting is no longer in your vocabulary. You stumble, you fall, but you get back up. You hit the wall, you climb over it. You face rejection, you rise stronger. Every challenge becomes a test, not of whether you can succeed, but of whether your decision is strong enough to carry you through. And I want you to feel this truth in your bones. Your decision is not about external circumstances. It's not about luck, timing, or someone else approving your plan. It's about the fire inside of you, the voice in your heart that says, I will not quit. I will not settle. I will rise and I will win. Once you decide this, everything else begins to align. Your focus sharpens. Your energy magnifies. Your actions become unstoppable. And the people around you start to notice. Doors open. Opportunities appear. People want to be part of your journey because your decision creates momentum that cannot be ignored. So today, I want you to make that decision. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today, decide that winning is not optional, that quitting is not allowed, and that no matter what, you will rise. Decide that your dreams are worth the struggle, that your life is worth the fight, and that your future is worth every ounce of effort you can give. Because here's the secret that most people never realize: success isn't about luck, timing, or resources. It's about a decision so powerful that nothing in the world can stop it. And when you make that decision, everything changes. Decide now, commit now, win no matter what. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is not something to run from or hide. In fact, pain is the one thing that can shape you into someone unbreakable, someone unstoppable. Most people spend their lives avoiding it, trying to numb it, trying to pretend it doesn't exist. They see pain as a signal that they are failing, that life is punishing them, that the universe is against them. But let me tell you the truth: pain is not punishment. Pain is preparation. Pain is the furnace that forges strength, the hammer that builds resilience. The fire that tests your determination. Every moment of struggle, every setback, every failure you've endured has been a step toward the person you are meant to become. Think about it for a moment. The people who have achieved extraordinary things didn't avoid pain. They embraced it. They used it as fuel. When life knocked them down, they asked themselves, what can I learn from this? How can I grow stronger? How can I turn this into an advantage? And that's the moment that separates those who succeed from those who settle. Settlers see pain and stop. Winners see pain and take action. Pain becomes the spark that lights the fire of transformation. Now, I know pain can feel overwhelming. It can feel heavy, suffocating, like it will crush you if you let it. But here's the secret: pain only has the power you give it. The moment you choose to face it, the moment you decide to use it as a catalyst rather than a barrier, it transforms. Every disappointment, every heartbreak, every failure becomes a tool. Every moment of struggle becomes a stepping stone. The pain you experience today can be the fuel that propels you toward victory tomorrow. I want you to understand something crucial. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. You cannot avoid challenges. You cannot avoid adversity. You cannot avoid moments when it feels like the world is against you. But you can choose how you respond. You can choose to let pain break you, or you can choose to let it build you. You can let it steal your energy and your hope, or you can channel it into power, into focus, into unstoppable momentum. That choice is yours. That decision defines the trajectory of your life. And let me be clear, this isn't just about physical pain. This is emotional pain, mental pain. The doubts, the fears, the criticisms, the voices that whisper in your head that you're not good enough. That pain can be even more powerful because it attacks your belief in yourself. But here's the truth: those voices are liars. Every time you feel fear, every time you feel doubt, that is the perfect opportunity to prove to yourself that you are stronger than you think. To prove to yourself that no setback, no failure, no criticism can stop the force of your determination. The pain becomes your teacher, and your resilience becomes the answer. You see, the world does not reward comfort. The world does not reward people who coast along hoping for luck. The world rewards those who endure, those who persist, those who take every obstacle, every hardship, every piece of adversity, and use it as leverage to rise higher. When you start to see pain as your ally rather than your enemy, your entire perspective shifts. Challenges no longer intimidate you. Setbacks no longer discourage you. Struggle no longer defines you. You start to move with a kind of confidence that is unshakable because you know that whatever comes, you have already faced worse and come out stronger. And here's the thing: embracing pain is not a one-time decision. It's a daily choice. Every day, life will test you. Every day, you will face difficulties that tempt you to quit. But winners, the people who rise to greatness, they welcome the pain. They anticipate it. They know that every challenge is an opportunity to grow, to stretch, to evolve, and they act anyway. They move forward anyway. They refuse to let temporary discomfort dictate their long-term destiny. So I want you to see your pain differently. I want you to feel it and say, thank you. Thank you for teaching me. Thank you for shaping me. Thank you for pushing me to become stronger than I thought possible. When you do that, you transform every setback into fuel, every failure into momentum, and every wound into wisdom. And that is the foundation of unshakable strength, unstoppable courage, and inevitable victory. Remember this: the path to winning is never smooth. It is never easy. Pain is a constant companion. When you embrace it, when you choose to let it empower you rather than defeat you, you step into a power that most people never even glimpse. You step into a force that cannot be denied, a fire that cannot be extinguished, a mind that refuses to quit. Pain is not your punishment. Pain is your preparation. And today, right now, you can choose to let it make you stronger, to let it make you unstoppable, and to let it lead you straight to victory. Motivation is great. It gets you excited. It gives you a spark. But motivation is fleeting. Motivation is like a firework, bright, exciting, inspiring for a moment, and then gone. It comes and goes depending on your mood, your circumstances, and the energy around you. Most people rely on motivation, and that's why they start so many things they never finish. They feel inspired today, they act today, and tomorrow, when the spark fades, they fall back into old habits, old routines, old excuses. That's not how winners operate. Winners don't rely on motivation. Winners rely on discipline. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to go. Discipline is what gets you moving even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is what keeps you going when everything inside you is screaming to quit. Discipline is not about punishment or restriction. Discipline is about freedom. It's about taking control of your life and refusing to let your emotions dictate your actions, because emotions are unpredictable. Some days you feel unstoppable, other days you feel like giving up. If you rely only on how you feel, you will never reach your potential. Discipline is what allows you to act regardless of how you feel. It's what allows you to keep showing up day after day until the results you desire are inevitable. The truth is, motivation is for beginners. Anyone can be motivated when life is easy. Anyone can take action when things are going well. The challenge, the real test, comes when life gets hard, when obstacles appear, when fear and doubt knock at your door. That's when discipline is everything. That's when the winners separate themselves from everyone else. They keep moving, they keep pushing, they keep grinding, not because they feel like it, but because they have committed to a higher standard. They have committed to the results they want, and nothing, no setback, no distraction, no fear will stop them. Discipline is built through daily action. It's built through small choices that seem insignificant in the moment, but compound over time into unstoppable momentum. It's waking up early even when you want to stay in bed. It's doing the work when you're tired. It's sticking to your plan even when it seems easier to quit. It's saying yes to growth and no to excuses over and over again until showing up becomes second nature. The results are not immediate, but the people who persist, the people who remain disciplined, they always win in the long run. You have to understand something: critical action without consistency is wasted energy. The world does not reward occasional bursts of effort. The world rewards persistence. It rewards those who keep moving even when motivation fades. It rewards those who understand that lasting success is not about feeling like it, it's about doing it anyway. Every champion, every successful person, every person who has achieved extraordinary things has mastered this principle. They act when they don't feel like it. They show up when they are tired, when they are uncertain, when fear is whispering, and they do it anyway. That is how you create results that cannot be denied. Here's the thing: discipline is also about controlling your mind. Most people let their thoughts dictate their actions. They wait until they feel ready, until they feel confident, until everything lines up perfectly. But life doesn't wait. Life will not give you confidence before you act. Confidence comes from action. Courage comes from action. Momentum comes from action. Discipline is the decision to act first, to create the momentum that generates belief, and to refuse to let fear or doubt slow you down. It is the engine that drives unstoppable success. And let me be clear, discipline is not easy. It's uncomfortable. It requires sacrifice. It requires you to say no to the easy path and yes to the path that leads to greatness. It requires you to push past the pain, past the fatigue, past the excuses, and to keep moving forward. But here's the thing: every time you push past that resistance, every time you take the action that your mind doesn't want to take, you grow stronger. You grow more capable. You grow closer to becoming the person who refuses to quit, the person who wins no matter what. So today, I want you to make a commitment, not to motivation, not to feeling inspired. I want you to commit to discipline, to showing up, to taking action, to doing what is necessary every single day, regardless of how you feel. Because it is through that daily, consistent action that your life changes. It is through discipline that you build the foundation for unstoppable momentum. It is discipline that separates the dreamers from the doers, the wishers from the winners, the ordinary from the extraordinary. And remember this: there will never be a perfect moment to start. There will never be a day when you feel completely ready. The only way forward is to act anyway. The only way to win is to move, to persist, to do the work when no one is watching, when motivation has faded and when doubt is whispering in your ear. That is what builds greatness. That is what creates unstoppable momentum. That is what turns potential into results. Discipline is the key. Discipline is the difference. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you are going. Commit to it, embrace it, and let it carry you to victory. There is a phrase I want you to take deep into your soul, no matter what. It may sound simple, but it carries a power that can change everything in your life. Because when you say no matter what, you are declaring that nothing will stop you, nothing will derail you, nothing will convince you to quit. That three-word mindset is stronger than fear, stronger than doubt, stronger than the obstacles that seem impossible to overcome. Most people live their lives waiting for the perfect circumstances, for the easiest path, for the chance that won't require struggle. But the truth is, the perfect circumstances rarely exist. The easiest path is almost always an illusion. Life will throw challenges at you that are unfair, unexpected, and sometimes overwhelming. And if you don't have a no matter what mindset, those challenges will stop you every single time. When you embrace a no matter what mindset, you stop looking for permission, you stop asking for signs or waiting for luck. You stop letting fear dictate your choices. Because here's the truth: winners do not wait for conditions to be ideal. Winners do not negotiate with life. Winners do not let doubt or uncertainty slow them down. Winners take action, push forward, and overcome regardless of what stands in their way. That is the essence of unstoppable power, doing what must be done, even when every signal inside you screams, stop. No matter what is not just about persistence. It is about ownership. It is about taking full responsibility for your life, your actions, and your results. It means that you no longer blame circumstance, other people, or bad luck for where you are. It means that you recognize that the only thing standing between you and your victory is your willingness to refuse to quit. You see, life will never guarantee you an easy ride. It will never make the path smooth or predictable. It will challenge you. It will test you. It will push you to your limits. And if your commitment is conditional, if your dedication depends on comfort, ease, or certainty, then the moment life gets hard, you will stop. But if your commitment is absolute, if you say no matter what, then life's tests become irrelevant, obstacles are just temporary, and setbacks are just part of the process. Think about what happens inside you when you adopt this mindset. Suddenly you stop asking if and start asking how. How can I move forward even when it's difficult? How can I find a solution when it seems impossible? How can I keep going when everything around me says stop? That shift changes everything because it puts the power back in your hands. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start being the architect of your destiny. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity to show yourself what you are made of. Every difficulty becomes a chance to grow stronger, faster, smarter, and more resilient. The beauty of the no matter what mindset is that it frees you from excuses. Excuses are easy to find and they are comfortable. They allow you to justify quitting, to delay, to blame, and to remain stagnant. But when you commit to winning no matter what, excuses lose their power. You can no longer say, I can't because, or I'll try if, or it's too hard. Every excuse is crushed because your decision to win is stronger than any reason to quit. And the moment you operate from that place of absolute certainty, you start attracting opportunities, solutions, and people who match your energy. Life begins to align itself with your determination. And yes, the path will not be easy. You will face resistance. You will face rejection. You will face failure. But the no matter what mindset doesn't mean you will never struggle. It means you will never stop. It means you understand that the struggle is part of the process. It means you refuse to let anything, no matter how big or unexpected, steal your momentum. It means you move forward with unwavering faith in your ability to overcome. I want you to feel this in your bones, no matter what. It's not just a statement. It is a declaration of identity. It is a statement that defines who you are. It says, I am someone who refuses to quit. I am someone who keeps moving forward. I am someone who wins no matter what. When you internalize this mindset, it becomes unstoppable. You no longer wait for external validation, external motivation, or external conditions. Your power comes from within. You create your own force, your own momentum, your own destiny. So today, I want you to commit to this mindset. Repeat it to yourself until it becomes unshakable. I will win no matter what. Say it when life is easy. Say it when life is hard. Say it when fear, doubt, and uncertainty scream at you. Let it guide your choices, shape your actions, and define your commitment. Let it be the fuel that drives you through obstacles, the armor that shields you from doubt, and the force that propels you toward victory. When you live with a no matter what mindset, you step into a power that cannot be stopped. You become someone who no challenge can defeat, no setback can delay, and no obstacle can derail. That is the mindset of winners. That is the mindset of unstoppable people. That is the mindset that turns dreams into reality. Decide today, commit today, and embrace the power of no matter what. Faith is not some vague hope that things will work out. Faith is not a wish, a prayer, or a fleeting feeling. Faith is a decision. It is a deep, unwavering belief that even when you cannot see the outcome, you know that the path you are on will lead you to victory. Faith is the force that keeps you moving when the road is dark, when the obstacles seem impossible, and when every sign around you tells you to quit. It is the inner certainty that no matter what happens, you have the power, the strength, and the resilience to rise above it. Most people rely only on what they can see, only on what is tangible, only on what feels safe. That is why they falter when uncertainty comes. But those who win, those who achieve, those who create extraordinary lives, operate from faith. They believe in the unseen and the unproven, in the possibilities that others cannot even imagine. Faith is not blind. It is not ignoring reality or pretending challenges do not exist. True faith sees the obstacles, sees the pain, sees the uncertainty, and chooses to move forward anyway. It is the ability to act when logic says stop, to take a step when doubt is screaming, to continue the climb when every part of your mind is begging for rest. Faith is what allows you to keep going when results are invisible, when progress feels slow, and when it seems like nothing is working. And here's the truth, those moments when it feels impossible are exactly when faith matters most. Because the moment you act from faith, that is when the universe begins to respond. That is when doors start to open. That is when opportunities appear and momentum begins to build. Every great achievement in life begins with faith. Every person who has ever defied the odds, overcome impossible circumstances, or created something extraordinary did it because they believed in what they could not yet see. They had faith in themselves when no one else did. They had faith in the journey when the path seemed unclear. They had faith in their ability to create results, even when evidence was not in their favor. And that faith became a self-fulfilling force. Action fueled by faith generates results, and results strengthen faith, creating a cycle that unstoppable people use to conquer the impossible. You have to understand that faith is not a one-time decision. It is a daily choice. Every morning, life presents challenges. Every day, doubt and fear will try to convince you that you cannot continue, that you are not enough, that the obstacles are too great. Every day, you must choose to trust in yourself, in your path, and in your power to rise. That trust is faith. That trust becomes your anchor. That trust transforms uncertainty into confidence and fear into fuel. And the more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. The more you act from faith, the more unstoppable you become. Faith also requires courage because it asks you to step into the unknown. It asks you to act without guarantees, to risk, to stretch, to face discomfort and uncertainty with the belief that the outcome is worth it. Courage and faith are inseparable. One cannot exist without the other. When you combine faith with courage, you create a force that nothing in the world can stop. You stop being limited by what you see and start being driven by what you believe. You stop being bound by fear and start being propelled by conviction. That is how miracles happen. That is how ordinary people achieve extraordinary results. And remember, this faith is not about luck or chance. It is not about wishing or hoping for a miracle. It is about alignment, aligning your actions, your mindset, and your decisions with the belief that victory is inevitable. It is about taking every step with certainty, even when the outcome is unseen. It is about refusing to let fear or doubt dictate your path. When you have faith in yourself, in your mission, and in your ability to overcome, setbacks are no longer permanent. Challenges become lessons, failures become feedback, and obstacles become stepping stones. You can choose faith in any moment. You can decide right now that you will believe in yourself, that you will trust the process, that you will continue even when it feels impossible. You can decide that your vision is bigger than your doubts, that your dreams are stronger than your fears, and that your belief will carry you through what seems insurmountable. That decision is powerful. That decision becomes unstoppable momentum. That decision becomes the difference between giving up and achieving everything you desire. Faith is the silent force behind every victory, the unseen energy that propels you forward when nothing else seems to work. It is what turns impossible dreams into reality, what converts struggle into strength, and what allows you to rise when everyone else is falling. And when you hold faith in your heart, you no longer wait for circumstances to be perfect. You no longer rely on others to validate you. You no longer question your ability to succeed. You simply move forward step by step with unwavering certainty, and you become unstoppable. Believe in yourself. Trust the journey. Act with courage. Move forward with certainty. Your faith will light the path, and there is nothing in this world that can stop you. Winning is not just about what you achieve. Winning is about who you become in the process. Most people chase results, chase goals, chase trophies, and then wonder why the victory feels hollow when they get there. True unstoppable victory is not measured by what you acquire, but by the transformation that happens inside you as you pursue it. The real question is this: are you becoming the kind of person who cannot lose? Are you building a character, a mindset, and a resilience so strong that no challenge, no obstacle, and no setback can derail you? Because when you become that person, when your identity aligns with victory, success is no longer a question. It is inevitable. The journey to becoming unstoppable begins with the choices you make every single day. It begins with the small decisions, the way you respond when things go wrong, the way you push forward when everything in your body tells you to quit, the way you treat yourself and others when stress, doubt, and pressure arise. Every choice shapes your character, and every character moment shapes your destiny. The person who cannot lose is not born. They are forged through persistence, discipline, faith, and unwavering commitment. They are forged through action taken when fear is present, through courage displayed when uncertainty is loudest, and through resilience built when pain is at its sharpest. Becoming unstoppable requires that you stop relying on external validation. Most people measure themselves by the opinions of others, by the applause they receive, or by the recognition they earn. But true victory comes from internal validation, from knowing who you are, what you are capable of, and what you are willing to endure to achieve your dreams. When your identity is tied to your own inner strength rather than outside approval, you become unshakable. Challenges no longer threaten your confidence. Criticism no longer diminishes your courage. Failure no longer defines your worth. You become the person who rises regardless of circumstance because your power comes from within. And here's the thing: becoming unstoppable doesn't mean life becomes easy. It doesn't mean pain disappears or obstacles vanish. What it does mean is that nothing, absolutely nothing, has the power to stop you. You learn to transform fear into fuel, doubt into direction, setbacks into strategy, and pain into power. You learn to see every obstacle as a test of your character and every difficulty as an opportunity to grow stronger, faster, smarter. When you adopt this mindset, losing is no longer a permanent state. It is temporary, a lesson, a teacher, a stepping stone to your next victory. Becoming the person who cannot lose also requires that you take full responsibility for your life. Victims wait for things to happen. They blame circumstances, people, and luck. Winners, the unstoppable people, take complete ownership. They understand that their results are a reflection of their choices, their actions, and their mindset. When you accept that truth, you stop waiting for permission, for opportunity, or for luck. You create your own results. You forge your own path. You build your own unstoppable momentum. And the more responsibility you take, the more control you gain over your destiny. The journey to becoming unstoppable is not just mental. It is emotional, spiritual, and physical. Your energy, your habits, and your daily practices all feed the person you are becoming. The choices you make in moments of discomfort, the consistency you maintain when it would be easier to quit, the courage you summon when fear is loudest, all of these moments accumulate into unstoppable power. And the remarkable thing is this: once you become that person, the world begins to respond differently. Opportunities appear, people align, and challenges that once seemed insurmountable become manageable. Your transformation creates a magnetic force that pulls success toward you because the energy you project is unstoppable, unwavering, and undeniable. Now, I want you to understand something deeply. Winning is not about perfection. Becoming unstoppable does not mean you will never fail. It does not mean you will never fall. What it means is that every time you fall, every time you fail, every time you encounter resistance, you get back up stronger, smarter, and more determined. You do not quit. You do not settle. You do not allow circumstance to define your destiny. You move forward because your identity as an unstoppable person demands it. That is the power of who you become. That is why real victory is never taken away. It is built into your very being. And when you become that person, something incredible happens. Your life no longer depends on luck, timing, or the approval of others. You become the architect of your own destiny. You set your own standards. You define your own success. You create your own unstoppable momentum. And the more you embrace this identity, the more inevitable your victories become. Your mind, your heart, and your actions all align with one truth: you are a winner no matter what. So today, I want you to make that choice. Decide to become the person who cannot lose. Decide to forge yourself into someone whose character, faith, and resilience are so strong that nothing can stop you. Decide to rise every time you fall, to persist every time you face resistance, and to act every time fear tries to hold you back. Because when you become that person, when your identity is aligned with victory, winning is no longer a question, it is a certainty. Be the person who cannot lose.